Easter greetings, dear friends, from Mount Angel. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. I'm speaking to you on Sunday within the octave of Easter. That is the 8th day of the octave. And I want to talk to you about the gospel that the church has traditionally read on this day. It's the Thomas story, the doubting Thomas story, and there's lots in that for all of us. You'll remember that in the story, the first part of the gospel takes place on Easter Sunday itself. That night, the apostles are behind locked doors for fear. And we read, "And suddenly Jesus came, stood in their midst, and said to them, 'Peace be with you.'" Amazing. He doesn't come through the door. He's just suddenly there. This is what it's like when you're risen. This is how you arrive when you're risen. He's there and present to them in their fear, calming them and wishing them peace. I hope something like that happened for you in this week. That in your homes where you're isolated from friends and families because of this COVID-19 thing, that you were able in your prayer to hear Jesus coming to you and saying, "Peace be with you." But I know some of us, and actually all of us and part of ourselves, are holdouts, like Thomas, who wasn't there when this happened, and the other disciples told him about Jesus being alive and present to them, and he said, "No, I won't believe it unless I can touch him." And so 8 days later, the gospel text says, and that's why we read the gospel on this 8th day of the octave. 8 days later, Jesus came and stood in their midst again and said, "Peace be with you." And then he addresses the doubting Thomas. He says, "Thomas, bring your finger here and put it in my hands. Place your hands in my side. Be not unbelieving, but believing me." And Thomas exclaims, "My Lord and my God." This is for us, friends. This is for us in our difficulty of belief, that Jesus comes for us, offers himself to us for our belief. But he also offers Thomas and all of us a big lesson. He said, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed." That's us, dear friends. We don't see Jesus, but we detect his risen presence. I want to say everywhere, everywhere. Certainly within ourselves he comes and says, "Peace be with you." Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Peace to you from Mount Angel.